Welcome to a part one of behind the scenes of Sunday Paper House. Hello, friends. It's been a while since we just had a little chat together. I feel like the past few weeks I've been doing like sit down videos where I talk a little bit more formally in front of the camera instead of very casually like I like to do with vlogs and these kinds of videos. So, hey, I hope you're doing well. I hope you are enjoying these first few days of spring. Logan and Riley just ate, so if you hear like nonsense, chaos behind me, it's because they are hyper. But I wanted to show you, just jump right into some of the things that I've been working on with Sunday Paper House, which, if you haven't heard, Sunday Paper House is my brand new art business. It's a paper goods business, and you need to do a little bit of catching up if you haven't heard of it. So go watch the previous videos in this series, the Slowing Down with Art series. But right now, where I'm at, actually where I just finished, is digitizing some of my artwork. So the artwork that I'm going to be using for this business is all like handmade. Obviously, it's actual paintings that I've done using watercolor, and in order for me to process it and print it and turn it into like a product for me to share with you, I have to digitize it, and I am also doing that myself and by hand with my trusty little iPad. I've had this iPad since maybe 2015, so it's a 10-year-old iPad. I love this thing so much, and I refuse to get a new one if this one works just fine. It has like the first gen Apple Pencil and everything, but it works, so I don't care to get another one. So nobody else has really seen this, or you may have seen this on like my other social media platforms, but I haven't like exclusively said straight up what some of the paintings are going to be in my first drop of our product launch. So I'm going to share a little sneak peek with you in this video. You're getting the first look into it. I'm trying to think which one I want to share. Let's go with this one. So this is a little sneak peek. I hope you can see it. I know it's like the screen is kind of, there we go. You can kind of, this is kind of great for me doing a literal sneak peek instead of like straight up showing you. But yeah, I think you can kind of guess and see what we're going with there. You may have seen some of the little tiny views into that when I'm posting on social media, like my little tiny vlogs, my mini vlogs. But long story short, I digitize a bunch of paintings that are very similar to that. I'm trying to do product drops that are themed, like they have a story behind each drop instead of just like dropping random things and they kind of don't make sense. But yeah, that's a sneak peek into the very first drop. And another kind of phrase that you can use to maybe guess what the first drop is going to be about. The first drop is going to be in the summertime. So maybe you can piece together what you think the first drop is going to be. But like I said, I just finished digitizing. So what I had to do was, and I wish I showed you this more than me just standing here and explaining it to you, but it has been a very busy past few weeks, and I'll get into that in this video as well. But basically what I did was I did my paintings. I did my paintings the way that I always do on my paper and my paints and all of that. And then I scanned them into my computer. I have a brand new scanner, and I'll show it to you once we get into the office. But I scanned everything into my computer, and then I sent it over to my iPad. And then in my iPad, the application that I literally just showed you is Procreate. Procreate is such a fantastic app for just like $5.99. I'm pretty sure it's $5.99, and you pay that and you have access to everything forever. But yeah, I went in with the file that I scanned, and then I literally started cleaning things up, just removing the background, removing any like gritty texture that you would get from the paper, and making the colors look really vibrant so that they can actually reflect the painting, because I think when you scan, a very slight change in vibrancy happens, and so I just wanted to ensure that I kept that vibrancy, especially when I send it to print. I want it to look exactly like the painting but just on a product. So I did some of that work, and I did it for the first drop. So every single painting that's part of the first drop is now officially digitized, which allows us to go into the next step that I'm currently working on. And I'll take you into the office for that because it's a hot mess right now. At least I haven't cleaned anything. Let's just go. This is a hot mess, but what this is essentially is just paper samples. I requested samples from a bunch of different vendors and manufacturers to figure out what kind of paper I want to use for the business for Sunday Paper House. And obviously, it's a paper house, so we need to be looking at the best quality paper. That is something that is really, really important for me. I don't only want to showcase my artwork, I want to showcase really, really high quality paper that stationery enthusiasts and artists and creatives can actually appreciate and feel like it stands out when they go into a stationery store compared to, like, there are some pieces of stationery that I've seen over the years that are like printer paper texture, and I really don't like that. I don't want to showcase that with my product. So we needed to go through a bunch of random paper samples, literally random stuff. There's like envelopes, there's little cards and different textures. This is going to get messy, but there's like bunches of different textures, and I don't know, there's like pound weight, there's uncoated, there's matte, there's glossy, all of those things that I needed to go through, and I have officially figured out the vendor that I want to go with. So this is just a visual. To be honest with you, this visual is literally what was on the floor of my living room last night because I sat down and I was like, listen, I need to make a choice. This has been going back and forth for months now, me just trying to figure out what paper that I want to use, and I just needed to figure it out. So I sat down and I just made non-negotiables to kind of help me narrow down the selection process, and that helped a lot. The pricing for things also helped a lot because some things are like ridiculously expensive for no reason compared to other brands that are offering the same thing. And also, there are some printing places, I don't know if this is interesting to anyone, but there are some printing places that don't allow you to customize products to paper, if that makes sense. So say I wanted to do a greeting card and I wanted to do it in a particular paper. Some sites, some manufacturers will only allow you to use a very specific paper, and they refuse to let you choose a different kind of paper. So that also helped me narrow things down. But good news, I have narrowed it down and I have discovered what I'm going to be using going forward. So another exciting development, the next step in the process, I feel like we're going very consecutively here in this video, but the next step in the process is to contact that manufacturer and send my digitized files to print. Oh, oh my God. Logan wanted to intro this clip. But anyway, I hope these things are not like super boring to hear about. I know they're super technical, but I also am aware that a lot of people watching this series are people who are trying to start a business for the very first time, and I hope this gives like a good view into some of the technical things that you have to work on the back end before you actually launch and it's out there in the world. For a paper company, you need to focus on paper. And I actually thought I could share a couple of like final round papers that I really liked. I'm a big fan of the organic kind of papers, the ones that have really nice texture, and they just, I don't know, they encapsulate nature, natural, organic vibes to me. So I like to look for recycled paper, uncoated paper, nothing that has like a glossy kind of texture on it, or like any of those fancy schmancy foils and things like that. I more so lean on the recycled stuff, and I really, really love cotton. So my final round kind of selections here, you can definitely see from the writing. We have a cotton here, we have an eco thing here, and then there's like another cotton texture here. I just love that. It's because I paint on cotton paper, or at least I try to whenever I paint with my watercolors. It's my preferred texture paper medium, and so I just feel like that consistency should go throughout into the actual product as well. It's really important to me, and hopefully me staying true to that can kind of contribute to the overall story of Sunday Paper House. I think it does fit the aesthetic in my opinion, which you'll learn more about as I continue on this series and start sharing more. But yes, we have digitized, we have found our manufacturer, and now it's time to print, which means we are officially past the halfway mark with launching the business. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I hope you don't mind seeing the mic in the frame. I try my best to not showcase this whenever I do videos. I kind of have it hiding in little corners as opposed to holding it like everybody else does. So I hope you don't mind that I'm being one of those people that has a little mic in my hand. But on to the kind of plot twist in this story, and that is I did end up finding a job. So you may know, or maybe you haven't. Seriously, you need to catch up if you haven't heard the news yet. But I started the year off getting laid off from my former 9 to 5 job. And this Slowing Down with Art series really kickstarted so many things for me in just a matter of a few months. The fact that I got laid off and I was feeling lost and wanting to focus more on art because I knew that I had more time to spend on it, seeing that I didn't have a job, and all of these things kind of formulated and helped me build the creation of Sunday Paper House, the business. Part of that, part of creating Sunday Paper House means that, I'm saying goodbye to an era in my life where it's all about having a traditional job and having a traditional 9 to 5 and all of those things and wanting all of those things. So it's funny for me to come in kind of just about halfway through this journey and tell you that I have a new 9 to 5. But the reality of things is that ideally, I could just spend every day of my life just working on Sunday Paper House solely, and that would be fantastic. That would be a dream. However, I am a normal human being in this country, and I need to pay my bills. I need to pay my mortgage, and I do not have money just flowing in from some magical place. So I needed to get a job. I needed to secure some sort of secure financial situation so that I can pay my bills and I can pay my mortgage and all of the things and survive and make sure my cats are taken care of and all of that. So, yeah, I was still looking for a job, and I think that was kind of apparent in the beginning videos of this series where I was like, definitely saying I'm looking for jobs, and that's like a huge chunk of my day. So the entire time of me developing and building Sunday Paper House, and still am, I was also looking for jobs, and that is how I fell upon the job that I currently have now. For a little bit of context into the job, it is a marketing job. It's a digital marketing job, which is something that I was doing at my former 9 to 5, and it is also in the publishing space. Again, just like my other former 9 to 5, it's not at the same place. And hopefully, after a lot of inner work, creative work, the artist's way work, Sunday Paper Housework, and this series has helped me really create a firm boundary in my life where I can focus on this job and be really great and enthusiastic about this job and also pay my bills with that job, as well as focus in on the creative side of my life, which I've mentioned in the last video, I believe, is something that is extremely critical and important and essential in my life now. The creative part of me, my inner artist, is now what, carries me throughout my day. And that is something that I was looking forward to doing my entire life. I've always been an artist. And so now being able to channel that and nurture that and, really, really focus in and work on that, it's important that I don't lose sight of that as well. So all of this is just to say to you and to me that we're not stopping anything in terms of this series or my creative work or Sunday Paper Housework. It's just a new path on the journey where I have to kind of make little slight shifts so that I can, work on all of these different aspects of my life in a way that is effective, sufficient, all of those things. Like, I want to be able to do a good job at my 9 to 5. I want to be able to launch Sunday Paper House to the best of my ability and really stay true to what my vision is there. And also, remain in tune with my inner artist and continue nurturing that. Just a little bit of explanation for the title of this video and the things that are to come in this series, because I'm definitely going to showcase how exactly I'm balancing my 9 to 5 life with this new journey. Before, it wasn't that serious. It wasn't that intense because, yeah, of course, I was working on my creative flow and my artistic, my inner artist types of things, but it was more so on a less intensive level. There were no deliverables or deadlines or anything like that because I was looking at it from a hobby perspective and, like, doing the artist's way when I can perspective. But now that there is a lot more intensity and purpose and need for fueling my creative side and making sure that I launch Sunday Paper House in a successful way, things are just a lot more intense. So that's why I'm doing this little explanation piece here. I feel like it's important to explain that and just show you how important this all is to me, and that me getting a 9 to 5 isn't me turning away from this path and this journey. It's more so keeping me super focused because now I am not afraid about financial instability. Regardless of what the artist's way tries to tell us, financial stability is important. It brought so much anxiety into my life that, took away part of my brain work that I could have been dedicating to the art. So anyway, I'm rambling. I just wanted to explain that piece, and I hope you're excited for me with this new journey because it's going to be a challenge. I know that, but it's going to be a fun one, and I'm excited to take you along it. But I do have some other things to share with you in this video, so let's go on to that. This is such a random corner that I've never filmed from before. I have like these new little gadgets and tools that I can connect to my DJI Osmo Pocket, and so I can do random angles if I want to. So I'm testing it out here, and I am going to close off this video because I do have a lot of meetings now that I am starting this new job and just getting onboarded and trained and stuff like that. So I just wanted to pop in and close off by telling you 2 quick things. The first thing is that you can follow Sunday Paper House on socials right now. We are on Instagram and TikTok, and I think that's probably going to be the main area where we're at. So if you want to see like day in the life videos of me kind of creating this business and you just want to see more insight into it, definitely follow us there. I'll also be sharing like little sneak peeks into our first launch, which is just a few months away, y'all. I know spring just started, but summer is very soon when we're thinking about creating and building and launching a business. So I'm really, really excited to be sharing all of the things with you. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is that I started a newsletter series, just part of my regular newsletter that I have on Substack that I share every Monday. I started a separate series in that same newsletter space that is all about Sunday Paper House, where I share things like mood boards, like inspo for our photography shoots, for our products, more sneak peek things into what we're doing, more like fine-tuned technical things as well, but like really fun things that I've learned, lessons learned, like hiccups that I've gone along, just basically a really well-rounded newsletter that's just all about Sunday Paper House that not only I feel is going to be helpful for other people who are in the same situation as me and are trying to start a business, but it's kind of an outlet for me. I feel like every time, and I've only done 1 letter so far, but every time I sit down and I start writing one of these letters, it feels like a massive weight off of my shoulders because I just have so many things floating around in my mind that I want to share, and I'm able to just kind of throw it all in there in one huge comprehensive letter. And I really love the way that the structure is coming out to be. It's got like cute little pictures, there's little sections where I talk about certain things, and I don't know, I just love it so much. So if you want to check that out, I will link that down in the description box. But those are all of the things that I'm working on right now at this given moment. Tomorrow can be a whole other journey. So I'm hoping that I can really share as much as I possibly can, as well as on social media. Doing my best trying to navigate all of these things while also just keeping a boundary in my mind and my heart and soul to still live slowly and still incorporate my slow living practices like I say that we should all be doing. And even with a busy lifestyle, you can achieve that. So if you are wondering about like, how are you finding the time to do the things? I'm still doing my best to find the time to do the things. It's a little bit of a challenge, like I said earlier, but I'm still prioritizing that because that's really important to me and hopefully to you if you watch any of my slow living videos, which my channel is all about. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I know this was another chatty one. There was just a lot to update you on, catch you up on, especially about the new job thing. But yeah, I'll talk to you in the next one.